Hey guys, happy Sunday. So this is a requested video by, I believe Katie wanted me to do this video. I have occasionally shown my one-of-a-kind clay baby. So a lot of people don't even know what an OOAK is, OOAK. So I figured this is a good video to share with you my one-of-a-kind clay baby since it was requested, and then I'm also going to put her in pajamas because I don't do a whole lot with her, like hardly ever, because she is clay, she is delicate. So I figured I would go over what kind of doll she is, show you her features, show you her details, show you like her certificate of authenticity and some things that I have of hers, and just chat about it because one-of-a-kind dolls have really just gone by the wayside, sadly. And I wish there were still more around, and there just aren't. So back when I first started collecting, we'll start there in the history of them. Back in my early years of collecting, one-of-a-kind clay baby dolls were the thing. It was the coolest thing to have, literally like in the clay, in certain parts of the clay. You can see the artist's fingerprints. I'm not even kidding you. It's like the coolest thing. So I still very much love having a one-of-a-kind doll. I wish I had more of them, especially by this particular artist. She is Amy by Linda Webb. And a lot of you may not even know who Linda Webb is because this goes back to like very early in the reborn doll hobby. Okay, so she was creating dolls from lumps of clay and making one-of-a-kinds back in like the late 1990s to, through the 2000s. And I don't think she made any dolls after 2010. I could be wrong. Maybe shortly after, because she retired a number of years ago. And a lot of her, I shouldn't say a lot of her, but she had actually had reproduced Emily. So I'm trying to think, was it Ashton Drake? Or was it, yeah, it might have been Ashton Drake who mass produced the Emily sculpt, which was one of Linda Webb. So it was a very popular, people would buy the kit or they would buy the doll and then have it, stripped and reborn. So she became very popular because her sculpting is so freaking amazing. Like looking at this doll, which this doll was originally made in 2003. This doll I fell in love with when I saw this doll on her website. She was one of the reasons why, I just fell in love. Like I had already had a couple of reborns by that time, or what we would call early reborns. You've seen a couple of my earlier dolls I've shared with you guys a while back. And when I saw this doll on Linda's website, which is no longer up, so it's not like something I could send you to so you could see it, sadly. But I fell in love. I reached out to her and contacted her immediately and asked if she was for sale, could I buy her, asked any details I could, and sadly she had been sold. And then I found out that Linda had a huge waiting list of collectors who wanted her one-of-a-kind dolls. And so I got on the waiting list, and that was back in, I think, 2003, late 2003 or 2004. And let's just say that I never had the opportunity other than once to, not even once. So my name never came up on the list. That's how long the list was. So for as many years as she was sculpting and making these one-of-a-kind creations, my name never got to the top of the list. So I was always searching for this baby. So I kept my feelers out there. So I posted that if anybody knew where this particular doll was, I would like to be considered. This happened. This is what I used to do a long time ago, guys. I've always put it out there that if you have this specific doll and you want to sell it in the future, please let me know. And I followed this doll. I found out who the owner was who had this doll for a long period of time, who was actually, she was a doll artist herself. And so, I'm not even going to name names of who had her, doesn't really matter. But anyway, so I followed this baby through a couple of mommies, and then I want to say, how many years ago was it? 2011? I think in 2011 is when, 2011, 2012, somewhere around there is when I finally got the opportunity to buy this doll from another collector. And I brought this doll home. The moment I could possibly have her, I wanted her and brought her home. And I'm so glad that I did, because it took me, let's see, if it was 2011 or 2012, from like 2003, that's how long I followed and waited for this doll. That's a long time. And I'm so glad I did, because she's just as perfect as the day she was sculpted, you guys. I've taken very good care of her. Her previous couple of mommies also took very good care of her. They are meant to kind of snuggle and hold, because they have cloth bodies, and they have very, they're, handmade doll bodies that Linda made for each doll she created. And so I'm going to just share with you her details. And I'm telling you that her sculpting standards stand up to every sculptor that's out there right now. And you'll see the details of her hands and fingers and feet and toes and all of that. I'm going to share all of that with you. But here's her pretty little face. She's very peaky-eyed. She's got newborn blue glass eyes in there. And the reflection is the overhead. Like, she is not shiny. It's just because there's an overhead light and because she's clay. So that is her sweet little face. And the great thing about clay is that you see every stroke. You see every line made and created by the artist. It's just very cool to me. And she does have little wispy eyelashes. They're just really hard to see. Maybe on this side you can see them a little bit better. Very barely there eyelashes. Kind of sculpted in slight eyebrows. But I love the peaky-eyed look. I've always been a fan of a peaky-eyed baby. And I think this baby is because I always love peaky-eyed babies. So I'm going to show you her little hands. Take a look at the detail. And take a look at those fingernails. I don't know how she made the fingernails, but I always wondered how she did it, because they look like they're real fingernails. And the detail, I mean, this is clay. It's clay. I think she's made of polymer clay, I believe. But the detail is gorgeous. Like, it's amazing to me. I just think it's so realistic and beautiful. Here's her other hand. Her little nails. It's trying to focus. Focus on that nail. There you go. Like, every crease, every bit of these details, I find them to be utterly amazing. I love, love, love. Go ahead and focus. Camera's struggling. Now for her feet. So this is what you'd call a quarter length limbs. So they have like basically just a quarter length to them, and the rest is like cloth. And look at this, look at these toes. Look at them. Like, tell me that is not like beautifully sculpted. Beautiful. The lines, the creases. And there's the bottom of this little foot. Just look at all the creases and lines. And then the top of this little, try not to cause a shadow. I always cause a shadow. Just, they're just beautifully done, right? I mean, the details are just gorgeous, sweet girl. This baby means so much to me that yeah, she means a lot to me. So I'm gonna put you guys up here so I can go ahead and change her, because I'm gonna put some pajamas on her. There we go. So how I protect her when I'm clothing her, she does have a diaper on. She has this little onesie. That's just a short sleeved onesie, just because I like to put a onesie on her. So I like to put tights on underneath her clothing, just because I think it just protects. I mean, this has worked so far, and I've had her for how many years, is I want to make sure I protect her clay. And if you don't know what OOAK stands for, it means one of a kind. That's what it means. And some newer collectors have never even heard of the term. Some might not know of these artists that I speak of. They certainly know about this doll. That's fine, but I think it's all educational. It's part of the doll hobby and how it's grown over the years. And I think it's good to know these artists that kind of got us started in the reborn world, so to speak. And knowing the history behind how they came to be so popular. I mean, they're artists, the artists like Linda Webb have been what made this hobby what it is, her along with others. And I'm going to put this little sleeper on her, and it's a neck sleeper. She's kind of a chubby baby, so I think she'll fill it out. Like, she does wear larger sizes because I don't like anything to be too tight on her. And I usually keep her hands covered in hand mitts anyways, as she's sitting around. Usually she's in the car seat, or if she's in the pod or something. I like to make sure. And look at her. She's just so cute. I really think she's beautiful. And she might not be for everybody, and that's fine, but I love her. And she's very special to me. But she's very cuddly when you do hold her, even though she's got clay limbs. But I love her. Like I said, she's really kind of what got me hooked on lifelike dolls. Like, she was one of the first that I really fell in love with. And so glad that I was able to get her. And this one-of-a-kind body has, like, she's created to have her arms up laying down like this. That's kind of the look that she had in her original pictures from the artist. So that's kind of how I like her, because it keeps her arms bent the way that the body has been sewn. But she's really sweet, you guys. I just, some people appreciate the one-of-a-kind sculpts more than others. I know that some collectors are just not for them, and that's okay. I don't expect everybody to like the same thing, but if you've never experienced one, you might not know how beautiful they really are. And I like people to just be able to experience all the wonders of the doll world, and that to me is like including one-of-a-kind sculptures. And there are some collectors that have a lot of these in their collections that will never give them up, and I think that's awesome. A lot of us older doll collectors that, really sought these out when we were earlier on in our collecting years, because this was like the thing. Like, these dolls they cost a lot of money. Like, back in the day, like, I believe that she used to sell them for around $4,000. I might not be accurate on that, but they were very expensive. They were a lot of money. And back then, when, reborns were still very new to the world of doll collecting, $4,000 was a ton of money to spend on a one-of-a-kind. But the whole point is that you had one doll like it in the whole wide world. And how cool was it to have the one doll in the whole wide world of your own that nobody else had? And so that's why they were so popular, because collectors liked having the only one of its kind. And there are a lot of collectors out there now still wish they could have one-of-a-kinds, which is why, reborns, you want to have them be their own, each one. You don't want to make multiples that look the same, because collectors generally don't want to have the same thing that another collector has. Generally. But, yeah. But she's sweet, you guys. This baby just means the world to me. I love her. This is just a little big, but that's okay. I'd rather have it be a little bit big with some room so that she's comfortable. And I'm going to leave that hat on her. And she looks like she's got a big shiny spot right there. But as I'm looking at her, she does not have a shiny spot. It's kind of funny. But this is kind of how she's depicted to look. It's with her arms up, like a baby that would be laying in a crib somewhere, or laying in something somewhere. But yeah, there she is, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing her. Hello, pretty girl. You are just the sweetest. I love this baby so much, you guys. She's the one that I safely call a forever baby, because I don't plan on ever having her go anywhere. She's too important. She's too special. But I think that fits her pretty well. It's a little big, but that's okay. It's very cute. I'm going to show you real quick, though, her paperwork. So one of her mommies thought that they had lost her certificate of authenticity. And so I have 2 certificates of authenticities for this baby, because it was found after Linda had produced a second one, a reprint of one. So this is her original. This is her original one of COA. This is what her COAs look like. And it's made with paper. But this is what came with the baby. This is her original folder. And that's the picture. So I've still got her original outfit. It's in a Ziploc bag safely in my drawer, actually. I do not have the toy that she came with. I don't know if she came with the toy, but I do have the outfit. But that's one of the first pictures I saw of her on Linda's website back when I first saw her. And then here's the second one. This is the reprint. And this one's really cool because she made it with a special kind of paper. It's fabric paper. And it was a copy that she had produced in 2010 at the request of the mommy at the time because she didn't have the COA. So Linda was wonderful and obliged. But it's really cool because it's on, I've never seen anything like it, but it's on fabric. It's very cool. And then her care instructions. I love having things like this. This is like, you know, all original things that came with the baby from the artist. I just think is so special. And this, I like her copy COA better than the first, just because it's so cool that it's on like cloth paper. I just think it's super cool. And then some of her other works. This is a sculpture by her. I don't know the date of when that baby was sculpted. Here's another full body sculpt by her. Like, I loved her work. I followed it for years. I believe this is the Emily that was produced, mass produced. It was based on this sculpt that she had done. And the hair is glued on. I didn't show you her head, but it's glued on hair, just like that. This is another sculpt. Like, she just is known for having such beautiful details in clay. It's just amazing. I actually had this particular baby for a period of time. Her name was Tu. She had Juan and Tu, and they were twins, and I had this baby from the first mommy that had her. So I got her on the secondary market, but I spent lots on her. Then resold her, but she had the most beautiful hands and feet ever. Love, love, love. Because I still was looking for this baby. This is another baby. I want to say that that's Emily again, maybe? I don't know, or a similar baby to Emily. But the ears, like every bit of details is just phenomenal to me. And just those nails, the feet, the legs. I'm glad I don't have one that has full legs because I'd worry about breakage. And there's another baby. So yeah, and then I also have, because she was featured in Discover Dolls, and she was featured back in 2009. And I managed to get this copy long after it was issued. So I found this copy because she was the featured artist on it. And what I did is I contacted her, even though she wasn't making babies. She wasn't sculpting any longer. I still emailed her because I had all of her contact information and kept it. And I'm glad I did, because once I found this, I emailed her and asked her if she would be willing to sign the copy for me. And she said absolutely. So I mailed it to her because she knew that I had Amy, of course. And she signed the cover, and then she also signed, hold on, she also signed the article. It tells all about her as an artist, showing her works of art, and stuff like this is so, I love having, love having this as a keepsake along with my baby. So it just tells it's all about Linda Webb, and it's a great issue. It's an old issue, but I love looking back and looking through it. And so that just stays with all of her originals. I keep that file safely tucked away where it's safe and sound. So that's my Amy Webb, guys. So when you hear me saying, oh, I'm referring to Amy Webb that's sitting in the the car seat off to the side, this is the baby I'm talking about. But she's very special. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing her. I just love her so much. She's just beautifully made. And, you know, I know there are still a couple of her sculpts out there, not very many anymore, because, you know, anytime during shipment, you always risk breakage because sometimes we know our shippers are not very good about taking care of the boxes. They don't care what's in them. So, yeah, there's still a couple of her babies floating around out there. So if you really love one-of-a-kind dolls, you might be able to still find one that might pop up for sale, but one-of-a-kinds just aren't popular anymore. People they just don't want to worry about it. It's just there's risk involved with having one. But like I said, this baby is just in perfect condition, and I'm very lucky to have her. And the coloring is really weird in here. But there she is, guys. There's my Amy Webb. Hope you enjoyed seeing her. And that's it for us today. Little Monroe is over in the stroller relaxing. I put her in a sleeper so she's comfy for the day. But hope you guys enjoy your Sunday, and we will all see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.